Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and this time I have Dodger Wolf with 1,433 rating versus Iceman 33 with 939 ratings, so this is going to be another high rated DB video. Also, shout out to MW2 Reacts, they are the person that won the last giveaway for the 3 Ash Blossom, so please go ahead and email me so that way I can go ahead and ship those out to you ASAP. And also, my upload schedule will be fixed tomorrow. That's why there was only 2 uploads today, so that way I could get back on schedule. So tomorrow there's going to be the normal 3 at the normal times. And with that being said, let's just hop right into this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to see Dodger Wolf win the rock, paper, scissors, shoot and decide to go first. 40 versus 40. Gotta love to see it. Opening hands, we have Scarm, Tracker, Fogblade, Droll, and Torn Scales. So this is a nice hand. You know, you open a starter, an extender, a going second card. Then they have Desires, Imperm, Vessel, Mo, Yi, and Vessel. So they have one going second card here. And then they're going to go ahead and normal summon, effect, discard. Their hand's also a little bit weird right now, but I'm guessing like the 3 draws that they're going to have next turn will help fix it. You know, draw for turn, then draw 2 off this. Effect, discard, Scarm, and then they're going to chain Imperm on that. And they hit them with the extender. And now they can just go ahead and combo here. Not too sure which build Dodger's on right now. They are playing Scarm, so makes me believe he's on the Assault build, you know, like he usually is. Grab, summon out Seer, then go for Rusty, Seer effect, special summon back out Cherubini, and then Rusty effect to go dump Ancient Cloak and set Wings. Okay, decides to set Wings. Ancient Cloak, banish itself, go search out Boots, and then Torn Scales effect, summon out, and then special summon out Boots, overlay those, go for Sea Dragon effect, detach, summon out Ancient Cloak, make Rusty go up by 800, Boots to go search, and then that's going to go search Shade, so they are going for the Assault stuff, otherwise, well, they, like, right? I mean, they could be on the artifact by doing this. I mean, it would make sense, because, like, you know, you set Wings, you grab Shade, but then, like, this would be played very weird, so I don't think they're on artifacts. I know for a fact this is Assault stuff. I don't think Dodger would misplay like that if they were playing the artifacts. And then, go grab Knight, activate the effect to dump, go dump Living Fossil, summon Renaud effect, add back to Living Fossil. So we've actually seen a lot of people start playing Assault in this deck. We saw the 60 card build with the Dragoon, and then they were playing Assault to dump 3, and they had the options to go for like a Torn Scales, any other Phantom Knight. They were also playing Aqua Dolphin, which Aqua Dolphin is cool. I'm a huge fan of that card being in my deck list. When it's in my opponent's deck list, I highly dislike that card, because it's so, when that card's good, it's too good. Go for Appaloosa, and then they're just going to go end phase, Scarm go search, Scarm go grab Tour Guide, so they decided to play it out like this. I mean, it's not bad or anything. Kind of surprised that they went for Wings over Fogblade. I guess, like, Wings helps keep Appaloosa safe, but, like, you know, so does Fogblade. But fair enough. This isn't bad at all. Like, this is still very solid. And then, like, they got both of these follow-ups through their engine there, and, you know, these are both pretty good follow-ups, and also Living Fossil follow-up. Like, they have a lot of follow-up here. So the opponent pretty much has to just end the game here, or they're going to lose. And then they draw Ashina. Or, you know, go for, like, Protos if they play that, but that's going to be extremely hard to do, especially under Droll. So they're going to banish 10 off Desires, and looking at the banishes, we can see 2 Vishuda and a Blackout banished, and then they draw Desires and Droplet. Okay, Droplet not bad. They're going to activate Droll on the res. Then they just go ahead and emit defeat. So going on into game 2 now, we are going to see the SwordSoul deck go first. Opening hands, we have Lancia, Called by, Torn Scales, Tour Guide, and Lancia. So this hand has Lancia for going second. They have Called by to help protect them from a hand trap next turn. And also, this card's very good versus Lancia. And then they have starters. They don't have like an extender or anything. Then they have Imperm, Vessel, Judgment, Long, Young, and Emergence. They're going to drop Lancia during the standby phase, trying to play around like Desire's talents there. And then Emergence to go search. Honestly, I just don't see SwordSoul losing here. Like, it's going to be pretty hard. Effect, reveal the Long Young, summon out the token. Like, the Lancia is just not doing anything here at all. They're going to go for this, and then they're going to get those effects, search and draw. So, they get to go ahead and draw Nib. Also, they decided to not use Vessel. I feel like you would use it, 'cause, like, why not? Like, that's definitely a card that you should activate. And then they're going to go search out Tai. Like, and I could have also... I guess I don't want to play in the Nib. Yeah, that's fair. I was going to say they could have, like, used that as the discard for this, but... I mean, that case still stands just for next turn. Like, if your opponent does end up, like, breaking through this, instead of having a Vessel, you would have a Worm, like a Tenyi, and you'd also have a Tenyi in Graveyard. So you could start off with Long Young, and then go Tai, or you could Tai and then Long Young. You know, you'd have more options. Pass, draw Knight, which isn't bad, but at the same time, it's not good. The opponent just has too much here, so they're going to summon Tour Guide. Also, if we check how fast he did that, normal summon Tour Guide, reveal Knight. So, I mean, technically, you should be, like, attempt the summon question mark, and then see if they go ahead and, like, judgment you. But, you know, that did not happen there. So they just got hit with Judgment on Tour Guide. This never got activated. And then set. Like, a good way to do that in, like, real life, how I was taught to do it, is just kind of, like, hover the card over the field and be, like, attempt to summon. Like, hover it, like, over the zone you're trying to summon it to. That's how I was explained to do it, like, at Worlds. But that's probably just because there was more of, like, a language barrier. You can just, like, summon it and be, like, attempt to summon anything, and then... Yeah, I think, like, the same point we'll get through. And then they draw Judgment. They are going to go ahead and standby phase, drop Lancia, and then Chainlink 2 called by to hit the Moe. Alright, so they're just trying to, you know, negate Moe here. But, you know, they don't have a Moe here anyways. And see, now they're going to discard Tai for Long Young, turn those into a Fleur, and then... They're going to get the effect of Burn. And I'm just saying, if they Vesseled last turn, you know, they would have had a discard for Long Young, normal summon Tai, and they could have gone for game. It's these little misplays that can end up being, you know, game changers. But again, here it just doesn't matter. They have 5 interruptions versus this. Normal summon, try to Knight. I mean, to be honest, doesn't the opponent just Judgment this? Because, like, if you Judgment Torn Scales, you know they have Knight in hand. So then they have 1 card. And you have a Fleur negate. So, like, this is just going to negate whatever it is. But they're going to Fleur negate Knight. Okay. I mean, this also works. I probably would have done it a little bit differently, but they're going to activate the effect, discard, Chain Grandmaster negate, and now moving on into game 3, we're going to see Phantom Knight go ahead and decide to go first. Opening hands, we have Tour Guide, Sword, Tour Guide, Nib, and Boots. Oh, is there a hand trap? Aura, Ecclesia, Vessel, that there isn't a hand trap. Oh, that's tough. Like an Ash Blossom on this would have been pretty good. Yeah, also, I'm fairly certain that Dodger is siding into the artifact stuff for game 3. So they're going to be going for that here. Summon effect, you know, 1 Tour Guide here is going to be a lot. Like, Tour Guide's pretty big combo if it resolves. And then Cherubini, dump Ancient Cloak, and then, you know, they also have, like, Sword and Boots, so they can, like, do extra stuff on top of just what a regular one tour guide would do. Special summon out the boots. Alright, so they haven't used Rusty effect yet. They're gonna go for Dagda, and then Rusty effect, and then Chain Dagda. Go ahead, dump Torn Skills, set Fog Blades, set the Scythe. And then they're gonna activate Ancient Cloak effect, banish itself, go search out Stained, and then Torn Skills effect, special summon itself out. Stained, special summon itself out. And then Torn Skills effect, discard Sword, go dump the Ragged Gloves. And then they're going to overlay those for the Sea Dragon. Sea Dragon effect, the special summon out the Ancient Cloak. Ancient Cloak effect, make this gang 800. And then activate Sword, that will banish itself, summon out the Torn Scales. So they're going to overlay for Break Sword here. You need this so that way you can go ahead and pop the artifact. You know, they're not playing the hero package, so they don't have Enforcer to pop. They only have Rusty to pop. So you have to get to this to be able to make your artifact stuff live. And then they're going to go for Appaloosa. You know, they could have summoned Break Sword here and then had Rusty pop it, but then you can't go Appaloosa because you're Dark Locked. Gloves effect, banish itself, go dump Wings. And then Boots effect, banish itself, go grab Fog Blade. And then set Fog Blade pass. So in this scenario, they have Appaloosa, Fog Blade, Nib, and then they also have the artifacts set up, and then they also have follow-ups through their engine in the graveyard, and they also have tour guide follow-up. So with all of this, it's going to be really hard for them to beat. And they do draw an Imperm here, which is definitely not a bad draw. They're going to go ahead and activate Desires here, and Desires will banish 10. And then draw into a Droplet and Blackout. Also, I'm assuming that they didn't go ahead and like banish Wings, summon Break Sword during the standby phase or anything, just because the opponent could activate Imperm on Scythe, and then that will stop that. And then yeah, I'm just assuming that's why. And also, if they get hit with like a Droplet, it'd be well, I'm gonna say I want to be like more like when it because like the thing with Droplet is if you do it during the standby phase, obviously you're not getting like the free send off of it by just like activating a normal spell and then chaining Droplet. That's a very common line of play, and it makes it that way you get a free send with this. But if you do it during the standby phase, then you have to send 2 with it, so that way you can negate Rusty and Appaloosa. Or you can negate like Scythe and Appaloosa, but you get the point. You're negating 2 with it during standby phase. But alright, yeah. And then said second, think, back, sorry, working, nice playing Yu-Gi-Oh in the work, yes sir, goals. Vashuda to go ahead and try to summon itself out. They say the thumbs up, and then they're gonna chain Imperm to hit the Appaloosa. And then special summon out Vashuda. And then activate. Also, one of my favorite things that comes up so often, everyone knows I hate the counters on Appaloosa, because like it just I hate it so much. And like my favorite thing that comes up so often is all like summon Enforcer, and the opponent's Appaloosa will have like one negate left. Well, one negate left. It'll be at like it was 800, then I summon Enforcer and it drops down to 4. And I'll like activate Enforcer effect or something, and they'll be like chain Appaloosa, and I'm like, you can't. Ah, it feels so good. It warms my heart. And they're gonna activate Wings here, and they'll special summon out the Break Sword, Rusty effect, Rusty pops Scythe, and then Scythe effect summon itself out. Scythe to go ahead and try to lock the extra deck, and then the opponent will now chain Droplet. You know, kind of mandatory to stop that. Nice. And then get rid of that for Monk. And then activate the Vessel. Vessel will go ahead. And they're going to dump Ashuna. And then what would they banish off of this? Banished of Vashuda. Okay, so they're playing 3 Vashuda then. Okay, never mind. They're not playing 3 Vishuda. Alright, then they're going to activate Vishuda effect, banish itself, go ahead and bounce the known Fog Blade. Fairly certain that was the known one. I mean, both of them are like known, you know, they boots went ahead and searched, but this is like the known one, the one set off a Rusty. And then Ashina special summon itself out, special summon out Ecclesia effect, tribute, summon Mo Yi, now they summoned 5 times. Mo Yi effect, reveal to Adara. And they're gonna chain Fog Blade on that. Now they're gonna normal summon out the Adara there. And I think on that summon you just drop Nib, right? Because like all they're gonna have, yeah, you for sure drop it there, 100%. Normal summon on summon GG. Wow, the BM, the GG before even activating Nib. Yeah, GG's. Well played. All right. So we got to go ahead and see Dodger Wolf win their 2-1 Phantom Knights. They did win the rock paper scissors shoot, which is obviously rather big, especially while playing a deck like this. And then, I mean, they put up a pretty good fight there. You know, it definitely wasn't a bad fight. Just, you know, the Appaloosa, the Artifact, double Fog Blade, and Nib. Hey, that's understandable that it's too much. It's not easy to beat something like that. I mean, they had a pretty good hand too. They had the Imperm and the Droplets, so they could go ahead and I mean, you don't really need Imperm and Droplet. Like, to be fair, this combo doesn't play around Droplets, so you can just Droplet, hit Rusty and Appaloosa at any point, and then that stops, like, the Artifact from coming out and stops the Appaloosa. But then, you know, you still have, like, double Fog Blade to play through, and then, like, the unknown Nib. And the best part about this deck is a little follow-up that it has. Like, the interruptions through Fog Blade. I mean, it's like Fog Blade is a decent interruption. It helps you play around stuff like Droplet too in this kind of build. So that way like all your interruptions are monster based. But then like the follow up through it is like the so good part about this card. Like it's a decent interruption, amazing follow up. Amazing. But seeing how long the match was, it was only 22 minutes long. Fairly quick match. It's pretty much just whoever went first really won. Like, the going second hands weren't that great. Like, I mean, like, you know, they did have the Imperm Droplet. Dodger Wolf had a very good hand, though. Game 2, Dodger Wolf's hand was not good. Like, they had Lancias, which stops Protos, but it doesn't, like, even if you stop your opponent from getting the Protos, you still have to, like, beat them. Like, SwordSoul isn't just Protos deck. Like, they're still going to end on an end board. Phantom Knights is actually one of the decks that can break the end board fairly well. Like, a lot of the times you just, like, you know, 2 level 3s, Cherubini, dump Graph, Seer, and then, like, at this point, your opponent, like, on Graph effect or Cherubini effect, your opponent, like, has to floor negate. Otherwise, you end up, like, if let's say your opponent has, like, Floor, Grandmaster, which is the Synchro 8, and then the Trap. Like, that's a pretty common end board. Like, you Cherubini, dump Graph summon Seer, go up in the Unicorn 1, Seer 2, and then they're going to activate, like, Grandmaster 3, and, like, you summon, and then you get Seer summon back out Cherubini, and this threatens access code, so they have to pop there. It's like, they just have to, like, know what they're doing, you know? I think it's not that hard for SwordSoul to, like, stop what this deck is doing. It just seems like a lot of players are, like, really bad at stopping Phantom Knight with this deck. I mean, I've tested versus, like, very good SwordSoul players, so, like, I'm used to, like, people actually knowing what they're doing, but man, oh man, there's so many people that don't know what they're doing. It's crazy. But with all that being said, the DB Grinder signing off. Peace. Have a nice day. Stay safe.